So hello, thank you for reaching out. Congratulations again on getting the interview. That's a huge deal in this whole application process. So be sure to celebrate that and be excited. But I know you have some questions, so let me know how I can help.
Well, thank you very much for your help and for your time. I have a question about if you know how many people get accepted each year, like after the interview process, or like the percentage of people that is accepted after the interview.
So I honestly have no clue. That number will vary from program to program, department to department, even from year to year within the same department. So it there is no kind of like magic formula of okay, they weed out 50% of people, give them an interview, and then from there it's another 50. I don't know. It's not that straightforward. And um it really can sometimes be like they'll interview a bunch of people, but they only end up taking one or two because the program is really small. Or if they have a bigger cohort, then it really just depends on the kind of program. And I'm not 100% familiar with the one that you're applying to, but I can say that the fact that you got an interview means that they are interested in your application. Again, these people don't have a lot of time on their schedules. They're not just going to interview everybody. So the fact that you've made it past that sort of first look or that first round of applications um, means a lot. And it means you submitted a really good application. And at this point, they're not trying to, like, they've seen everything that you can offer. They know, how qualified you are. At this point, it's just figuring out, are you a good fit in the program? It's not if you're qualified to be in the program.
Okay. I also have a question because they have told me to choose six faculty I was interested in, like in their research, and that they will do everything they can to have to have me having an interview with them. But I'm not really sure if it's good. Like in each interview, I can like tell them I am interested in each one of their interviews because they have really different research. Like one is in asthma, another one is in Alzheimer, the other one is in DNA repair. So I don't know if it's bad if I tell each one of them that I'm interested in their particular research, or is it better just to have like a general idea of what I want?
Yeah, so I don't think your research interests necessarily need to match the research interests of your interviewer. I think you can approach it as I think you need to stay passionate about what you want to research, and that's what you want to communicate. And when you go to these interviews, you can definitely say, like, wow, your work is really innovative. It's very interesting. I would love to learn from you. And then maybe apply, anything that might kind of cross over with your specific research interests. But of course, don't go into every interview being like, oh, your work is exactly my work and I want to work with you only. And you say that to like then, you want to be genuine. So, say what you're passionate about. Try to make a tie to their research if you can. If not, you can just say you're interested in learning from them, learning from their methods. I don't know. There's something you can always learn from anyone. So I think it's okay to express interest. Just, of course, don't go around just saying things that you think people want to hear. Like, stay passionate, stay true to yourself and your research interests.
Well, I'm really interested in like the nano bio interaction parts, but I know many of them don't work on something like that, so I don't know if I will feel comfortable telling them that. Like, I don't know if I could get rejected because they don't work in.
No, no, no,
in
no, no. Yeah, they're not going to reject you because your research interests don't match the specific faculty. I think like I said, you don't want to change your research experience and your research interests just to match a faculty member's. That's again not genuine and they'll see you through that. I think that they're looking for passion, and that passion is unique to you and you want to let that shine through. So I think it's totally okay to talk about again what your research passions are. And then if you can find a way to link it to, these other professors that have very different experiences. I don't know, there might be some thread. I'm not a biology like
Yeah.
person, so I can't. I know it's easier to do. I don't know if it's easier, but I know in at least social behavioral sciences or public health research, there's, a lot of overlap that happens. That's why it's such an interdisciplinary field. So I'm sitting here being like, yeah, you can always find those threads, but I know that might be harder maybe for hard sciences or biology. But if you can, I would definitely mention that. But you shouldn't be afraid. Like you got this interview writing about your passion, so you shouldn't change that just because you're interviewing now.
Yeah. Um, can you tell me like what questions were you asked in your Harvard interviews? Like I don't know if I should study for something technical or is it more like they want to know if you're passionate?
Yeah, so I think I outlined this in my blog about applying in this section that's all about interviewing. It's been a couple of years now, so off the top of my head, I would definitely say it's a combination of sort of both of what you were saying. Like they're really trying to understand your research experience, why you're passionate about it, but also understand who you are a little bit as a person, as a learner, as a student. So be ready for, I would definitely say be ready to talk about like your research interests and how you see that going in the next 5 or so years and even beyond that. Um, and also be prepared to talk about like yourself. I think someone actually did ask me like what are your strengths and weaknesses? So be prepared for kind of very generic questions like that. I think for every interview, you should be prepared to kind of give your elevator pitch. That's always what like, tell me about yourself. That's always something you want to be prepared to have like a clear and succinct answer to because every interview kind of starts with something like that. So, those would be kind of like the basic things, but, you know, I would just say be ready to talk about your specific research experience and interests and how you see that playing out as you do your PhD.
Um, I want to ask you too about the stipend they gave you when you were studying there. Like, is it enough for living there and for like being comfortable, or is it low? Or
Well, this is a great question because I just learned that Harvard is increasing their PhD stipends to 50 grand a year. So that is a huge bump from what I saw when I was a PhD student. I'm like so jealous. I was like, why did I like started my PhD a few years too early. So I was able to make it work on the old salary. There are opportunities for you to teach, do extra research to help you supplement, but definitely with this new union negotiated salary bump, I would say that you're in like you're not going to be dining at Michelin star restaurants every week, but you're going to be like eating healthy, like able to do fun things with your friends and pay all your bills.
okay, thank you. If this new stipend goes for all Harvard schools, or is it just for the public health?
I am not 100% sure. I didn't read the fine print of the email since I was like, oh wow, well, this doesn't apply to me anymore, but that's good news. So you could definitely ask. That's also a question you can ask at the interview, and they'll probably tell you this too, because it's more of a just administrative question.
Okay. And I also have doubts about what I should wear because I want to wear heels and like
Oh, I love the fashion questions. Because I also think about this a lot. It's fun. I mean, I love thinking about what to wear. Who doesn't? I would just say dress as comfortably as you can. That is probably more important than trying to look a certain way. So comfort definitely comes first because it is going to be a long day. You are going to be very tired. And the last thing you want to be is like your feet are hurting from wearing the wrong shoes. So comfort always wins. But a very close second to that comfort is that you still want to look good, and wear something that's going to make you feel like
Yeah.
you're, you look
Confident.
good. So if like your power heels are what's going to help you like feel confident when you're talking to those professors, then wear them. Maybe bring a pair of flats that you can wear in between the interviews, or change into. So I would just think of it that way. Like make sure you have a comfortable option. And like, I think it would be totally okay to bring like a second pair of more comfortable shoes if you really want to rock the heels. But I would definitely say like upper body or like the rest of your body, like I would dress pretty professional, like business professional. Like if you have a blazer, nice pants. My tip is always to wear a pop of color so that people remember you. Because even though I only wear black now, but when I interview, I'll try to wear like some pink or just something to help them remember you a little bit, and stand out. I truly believe that sometimes those little small things can help make you a little memorable. So, yeah, I would dress business professional and then wear your heels if you want them. It's going to be cold too because it's so yeah, definitely bring another pair of shoes. Yeah, I would say if you end up not going with the heels and just wearing like comfortable boots because it's cold, like I think that's more than like I feel like in academia people don't dress like I wear like sneakers to conferences like because I just don't care anymore. I can't wear heels. I haven't worn heels in so long. I didn't even wear heels for my own wedding. That's how much I hate them now. So it's really up to you. I wouldn't overthink it too much. I would definitely just not wear like ripped jeans and a crop top, but just, definitely try to look as professional as you can while staying comfortable.
Okay. Also about the weather, I heard it's really cold in February. I have no experience in cold cities. Um, I was like, I've heard that it's really, really cold outside, but inside the building, like, you don't have any cold. Like, it's really warm. So I don't know if I should have a jacket still inside the building, or like, what kind of clothes should I wear in the inside?
Yeah. So that's a great question. And I also, up until I left for the East Coast for graduate school, had never been in the cold. I've just been in sunny California. So big shocker for me to go over there. And I also just run really like I'm so cold right now. Like I just am always cold. So being in that even colder place, it's not fun for me. I would say for you, I would definitely bring a jacket, like a thick jacket. The thickest jacket you have. And if it's not that thick, like layer, bring like two jackets. And just know that you'll be able to take it off once you're inside. There'll be like coat racks or like I'm sure there'll be a room where they're gonna let you keep all your stuff. So definitely like wear a jacket for sure. Um, and because sometimes I don't know, in some of the rooms at the School of Public Health, like they would for some reason like the central heating or whatever wouldn't be like working properly and I'd have my like winter coat on in the classroom because it was like not correctly temperatured. I don't know. So definitely bring a jacket, bring the thickest jacket that you have. And if it's not that thick, like bring two and wear both of them.
Okay, thank you. Well, I just bought a snow jacket because where I live is not that cold, so we're not really used to snow. I have only seen snow 2 times in my entire life, so it's really new for me.
They just got a few inches of snow over the weekend in Boston, I heard. So
Yeah, thank you very much. Before you go, I wanted to ask you. I had an idea on what I could say for my elevator pitch, so I wanted to know if I could tell it to you,
yeah,
and
of course.
you can say to
Yeah.
me if it's right or not right.
Yeah, of course. That's great. Thank you for sharing that little bio about yourself. It's great. I didn't know that about you for the or like, the stuff about your family. Thank you for sharing
Yeah.
that. I think that that's a great kind of like opening statement as you would say. My feedback is that I feel like it could be a little shorter maybe because they'll ask you to sort of like expand on certain things. So I would shorten it a bit and I would almost like um take all the stuff you said at the beginning about your hobbies and move it to the end. So I think, saying that you grew up in Mexico, you were really close to your family. You were very fortunate that they were very supportive in your journey to science and research. Say that whole bit. And then at the end, like in addition to my, scientific interest, I also love, X, Y, and Z. You love baking and cooking, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what you were saying. Yeah, I do that in my free time and I look forward to like trying all the like good baked goods in Boston. Like, I always try to like thread it, like if I can like kind of make it personal, like, oh yeah, I've heard there's really good bakeries here. I can't wait to try them, like here in Boston, and to kind of show that you're like already thinking about like wanting to move there. And then they're like, oh yeah. So that's kind of the structure that I would follow, which is, yeah, quick introduction about yourself. You can make it a little personal, then really talk about just quickly what your research is, and then end on a quick note about your hobbies. And if you can like tie it to something related to where you are or whatnot, then even more brownie points, since you
Okay.
like baking.
I also was thinking on mentioning, I went to Boston on June of 2022, and I was really in love with a pizza place called Pinocchio's. I don't know if it's very famous there, but I was trying. I would like to mention it in the interview, but I don't know if it's like very famous or if I tell them they won't know like what I'm talking about.
Okay, it definitely is famous. The only reason why I know so I never went there, but I've walked past it and stuff, but I learned about it because of the TV show Suits, because
Yeah.
they talk about Pinocchio's on there and they make like a big deal about one of the things. So anyway, I heard it on Suits and I was like, there's a place called Pinocchio's here. That's really because that's when I watched it when I was at Harvard. And I was like, and so I looked it up and I was like, oh wow, this place like actually exists in Harvard Square. So yeah, you can definitely mention it if it comes up naturally, obviously, in the conversation.
Yeah.
Don't just like randomly say, like, oh, I love Pinocchio's, I saw it in Suits, although that's something
Yeah.
I totally do. But yeah, whatever you can. I mean, that's another tip is like let your personality shine through. Like they're not gonna like everyone's gonna be talking about their science experience. Everyone's gonna be talking about their research. Obviously, that should still be 90%, if not more, of what you talk about in your interview. But anytime that it feels natural to drop in something personal, you should do it because that's what makes you memorable and stand out. And like they want to work with people, or I would hope that they would want to work with, interesting, unique people. So yeah. Well, I'm always here for you. So just know you can reach out to me whenever and good luck. I know you have a whole month before your interview. So, wishing you the best before then, safe travels. And one big thing I do want to emphasize, or kind of one tip is like, don't be nervous. I mean, it's easier said than done. But you should be really proud that you got this interview. They're trying to convince you just as much as you're trying to convince them of you getting accepted. They want to convince you that they're the school for you too. Um, so with that, don't like over prepare, don't rehearse your answers, just show up, you do you, be yourself, they're gonna love you. And you know, that's how you'll know you've had like a good interview experience is if you just like you said you don't lie, you just stay true to your genuine interests and showcase all of that, and then from there we'll see what happens next. But I'm again, congratulations, so excited for you, and I'm here if you have any questions before or after your interview next month.